value-based choices. Today we're going to be looking at how to make value-based choices. What are they to start with? I am Lady Jane Ndukwe. Value-based choices are decisions made based on your core values. Your core values form your moral and ethical compass, your guiding principles. A value is not something you believe, but something you're prepared to enforce. For example, my core values include respect, decency, and harmony. This means that in everything I choose to embark upon, the elements of respect, decency, and harmony must feature greatly for me to derive joy in that endeavor. The ability to embrace your core values and allow these values to guide your choices makes you real, trustworthy, clear, and focused. When you make value-based choices, you cannot be everything to everybody. There's also a sense of fulfillment when you make choices that align with who you are, because your values are an integral component of who you are. Therefore, to become authentic, you must make value-based choices. Now, to make value-based choices, you must know who you are. This goes beyond knowing your name, where you come from, your likes and dislikes. The first thing to recognize in this quest to knowing who you are is the fact that you are a spirit wearing a body. Does this shock you? Your core and my core is spirit, which is in fact the real you and I. The physical body you and I wear shall not go with us when we depart this earth, which is why it is discarded when we die. What rises up or sinks down is the spirit. In order for the spirit to function optimally while on earth, the physical body we wear must be maintained through healthy nutrition and lifestyle. The spirit, which is the real you, must take dominion of the body it wears in order to live a life that is in accordance with the will of the Most High. To live in accordance with the will of the Most High means to pattern your life in accordance with the laws that govern creation. For example, the law of sowing and reaping, which says that whatever you sow, that you must reap. Just like the seeds we plant, if you sow maize, you shall reap maize and not rice. In like manner, if you are kind in all your dealings, then kindness shall follow you. We also have the law of attraction that says like-minded people will attract themselves. If you pattern your life towards what is honorable, you will attract like-minded persons. There's also the law of balance. We often say, after rain comes sunshine. When you have worked very hard, you must balance this with good rest to avoid being burnt out. These laws of creation sound so simple, and yet many of us find it difficult to embrace them. You cannot live a life filled with hate and envy and expect kindness and blessings from creation. It simply does not work that way. Whatever good you want to see in your life, do this to others. This is the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Now, back to the fact that your core and my core is spirit, means that the spirit must give expression to itself. And the tool for this is the intuition. The intuition is the voice of the spirit. It is often referred to as the inner voice or gut feelings. This valuable tool was given to humanity, but most especially to women. Unfortunately, many people have overlooked the intuition, and some do not even know that it exists. The intuition warns you of dangers. It gives you winning ideas to help you succeed in life. It gives you insight of things to come. Knowledge is power, and the one who has this knowledge leads the way. Now, I want to share two stories of how women applied their intuition and got saved. The first story is about a university student who liked a handsome guy in her class. When they were assigned a project to work together, she was very excited about the opportunity of getting to know this guy better. But after speaking with him, she got really bad vibes from him, but could not place her finger on what it was. She followed the vibes she received and decided to distance herself from this guy. A month or two later, in the same semester, a lecturer announced that the guy had been arrested for brutally murdering a girl he had been dating. She was another student at the university. The second story is about a young mother whose son swallowed a coin. Her gut feelings told her to take the child to the hospital, but all the members of the family said she was overreacting because the child would poop it out. By evening, this woman who could not shift the inner voice that told her to take the child to the hospital decided to obey her gut feelings. She and her husband took the child to the emergency unit. An X-ray was done, and the doctor found out that the coin was lodged. He further added that if the coin had flipped or moved even the slightest, it would have blocked his airway and their son would have died. Now, men have also been known to apply this gift of intuition to gain success in their endeavors. Paul McCartney of the Beatles heard a tune in his dreams one evening, which sounded different from their regular Beatle tunes. But he could not deny the fact that the tune was magical. He decided to let doubts flow out of his consciousness and follow his intuition. This gave birth to the song Yesterday, which became the most popular song of the Beatles. Winston Churchill, whilst having dinner at 10 Downing Street, London, was interrupted by a German bomb landing near his location. Churchill told his staff to leave the kitchen immediately. Now, shortly afterwards, another bomb fell and landed exactly where the staff had been. Churchill's intuition saved the lives of his staff. Steven Spielberg, the director of Jurassic Park, Jaws, and E.T., referred to his intuition for success. He said, "Your intuition is different from your conscience. Your conscience shouts, 'Here's what you should do,' while your intuition whispers, 'Here's what you could do.'" Steven Spielberg tried to differentiate between the conscience and intuition. When you're doing something wrong, your conscience begins to prick you, which makes you uncomfortable. This can come in form of nightmares, where you see the face of the person you hurt, or your heart beats very fast. You become sweaty and agitated each time the person's name is mentioned. When your spirit is still awake, alive, or alert, you experience your conscience, which is that guilt feeling you often get when you're doing something wrong. Both the conscience and the intuition come from the spirit. To make value-based choices, therefore, you must heed the voice of the spirit, which is your intuition. This is what will help each woman to take note of the fine impressions she receives from the production of good deeds. Listening to the voice of the Spirit will help a woman receive warnings of pending danger, which she can avoid, and also advise people close to her, just as we heard from the stories. Listening to the voice of the Spirit will help you become clear about solutions that can help in remodeling everything that is wrong. I want to briefly look at the gifts you carry. Gifts or talents are necessary for the development of your spirit. Gifts are those abilities that come naturally to you. It's important to note at this point that every human being has a gift or a set of gifts. However, not everyone manifests these gifts entrusted to them. Some carry the gifts to their graves without ever expressing them, which is a huge disservice to the Lord who graciously gave those gifts for the development of our spirits and humanity. Now, without humility and modesty, gifts can never blossom into abilities. It is in this blossoming that you and I realize how small we are and how gracious our God is to have given us these abilities that will get us recognized. This is why you cannot come to full recognition of your abilities, which form your purpose, without finding God in it. Humility and modesty are essential for the greatness within you to unfold. One of my gifts is public speaking, and this has paved the way for me. It got me my job at the university after my daughter requested that the Vice Chancellor had a meeting with me. He invited me to be the keynote speaker at the Peace Conference organized by the university. After that event, many other doors opened up for me. I want to end this segment with the following exercises. Number 1, write down your 3 core values, which should be your guiding principles or moral standards that you live by. Number 2, look at the core values that you have written down and see if they have a bearing on the things that you do daily, including the work you do, friends you keep, and the things that you pay great attention to. Number 3, if your values do not feature much in your daily activities, can you now think how your values can be woven into your daily activities? Number 4, write down things that come naturally to you. These are your gifts. Try not to overlook anything, no matter how small they may appear to you right now. Number 5, how well are you using the gifts you wrote down in your daily activities? In concluding, we see that 3 important elements help us to make value-based choices, and these are our core values, intuitive guidance, and our gifts or talents. It is important that we have a firm grasp of these elements and allow them to feature in our lives. When we make value-based choices, we are able to set healthy boundaries and ward off things that do not serve us well. The more we align our activities and choices to our values, intuitive guidance, and gifts, the happier we become and less chances of being vulnerable to abuse. Thank you for listening.